So welcome to Insight with Moonshadow. I am Moonshadow, an integrative holistic therapist, intuitive shaman, interfaith minister, and chief evangelist with over 30 years of experience in the healing field in the US as well as internationally. I've learned from many, and I've guided many, and I appreciate the whole journey. So it's been really, really awesome. Now, my intention here is to help you connect to your inner self, as well as you to the world around you. So it's really about interaction, connecting, building who you are yourself internally, whether you share it live in the chat or not, just kind of for you to be a better person to you. So looking at that reflection in the mirror, you will look at yourself and say, hey, you know, there are certain things that we could do to improve ourselves, certain things that people need to know, certain things that people don't need to know, right? So this is all about and we have the gray-haired lady in the house. Hello, Melody. Pleasure seeing you. So looking at that, I really appreciate all of you being here on Insight with Moonshadow, as well as on YouTube Live, right here, right now, as well as Facebook Live. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Now, now initially, I've been wanting to, thank you so much, Melody. Now, bringing this all about. Now, the reason why I started with this is stuff that I do every day. So anything that I share here on Insight with Moonshadow is stuff I do every day. I practice what I preach. This is no fluff, no smoke and mirrors. This is legitimately, transparently who I am. End of. So anybody that feels that things are a little odd or a little strange, or they have limitations, it's okay if you walk away. I have no problem with you walking away. However, you might learn something and you might teach me something. So I'm really glad that you guys are here. So now, what coincided here of life imitates art and art imitates life is I went to go see Doctor Strange. So yes, aside Doctor Strange, excellent movie. You got to check it out. However, now, watching Doctor Strange, I learned something very interesting. It was very, very enlightening to me because a lot of, and I'm not going to do any spoilers here, but a lot of the premise of Doctor Strange was about manipulating time, being able to utilize relics, what they called relics, okay? And yes, quote unquote relics. But now, we've been doing this since the dawn of time. Now, I'm sure it doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, Muslim, it doesn't matter. I'm sure that a lot of us, even in this room right now, have a lucky talisman. You may not call it a talisman. You may call it a lucky coin. You may call it anything. You can have different names for these things. However, I even know, and I have actually heard this personally from people, even athletes that will have they wear their lucky socks on a game. They've been doing that right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. So that suspiciousness, or that having that superstition, having that superstition, or having those things that you kind of connect with is older than, it's so old. It's like 50,000 years old since the dawn of man, since we first came around. So now, seeing that life imitates art and art imitates life, I want to share this topic with all of you. So now, looking at it from that standpoint, every single day, you live your life a certain way. You have a certain rhythm. You have certain things that you do. You have a certain ritual. So now, rhythm, ritual, cycle, you're going to hear me move through these words interchangeably. Some people are weird with the word ritual. Ooh, okay. Ceremony. Rhythm. Rhythm is safer for most people. So you get up, you brush your teeth, you do all of those things that you need to do. Now, that being said, with talismans, fetishes, and I don't mean the fetish that people, people are going to think at the moment, because fetish actually came from a long time ago. And of course, people can move it to their own functions in their own ways, but a fetish is actually connected to a talisman or an amulet or a charm. This is all what it's all about. Now, also living shamanically, these things are everyday tools. These things are everyday pieces or everyday things that you will either carry in your pocket. A lot of times you'll hear people utilize EDC, everyday carry, right? So EDC, or everyday carry, like I carry a multi-tool with me. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if you need to strip a wire or cut open an apple or anything like that. So in itself, one of my multi-tools can, in essence, be imbued with juju, with energy, with medicine, for purposes, for metaphysical or shamanic or spiritual purposes as well. Even also pantheists and pagans will also utilize the athame. It's a symbol. So these are all things that we can utilize for empowerment, for our own empowerment to do things. Now, you could be someone, again, like I mentioned about athletes. There are some people that will wear, now you could be an armchair athlete. You're watching Super Bowl in the last 5 Super Bowls, you wore your favorite jersey and your team won. So guess what? That has become a talisman. You may not even realize that that's become a talisman, but it did. You've imbued it with your energy. You are rooting for your team. So bringing this real life application to a spiritual thing that you probably didn't realize that you were spiritual is very, very interesting. So now, not only with Doctor Strange, they had the same methodology of the same spirituality, but they also connected the same thing with the Star Wars movies as well. The Jedi were basically, a combination of Buddhist and samurai and a lot of other spiritual texts, sects and groups of people, and they kind of brought it together to a very Zen-like warrior type mentality, right? So now, isn't it funny how art imitates life? Now, a lot of people are devout, and you're absolutely right, Melody. And all of us do this. All of us have this. And Debbie in the house. Debbie, so nice to see you here. Long time. So in utilizing this, a lot of these tools, using life and I have family in the house. Holly, hi. Having a lot of these tools and utilizing these tools, you could emulate a lot of energy and juju. Now, Ariella is saying it could be as simple as a talisman in your car. Yes, like that. Like I also have, just as an idea. Okay. Hey, cuz. Mwah. Great seeing you. Just in my Jeep alone. Now, anyone that knows me knows what I'm about, right? For the most part. However, you walk into my Jeep, you will see a small plushie of Stitch in my Jeep. Not kidding. Okay? This is real. Also, feathers of different birds. You will find different amulets and talismans that are hanging from my rear view mirror. Out loud, living out loud, being out loud. So I've been out of the closet spiritually for all my life. And this is just how it is. So I'm sharing this with you. So it's not necessarily being weird. You having little ceremonies, rituals, and rhythms is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Because you're just being you. And you are only qualified to being you, right? So now, this is an example. So now, there are things that I will actually carry in. Hey, Q. Welcome. So nice to see you here. So now there are things that you carry. Now there are things I personally carry, like for example, like I have my black bear claw around my neck. Okay. Also, too, to start, there's my medicine pouch. Now this right here, God forbid, I would never want anyone that was spiritually oriented that could do any kind of harm to connect to this medicine pouch. And this is something that has been imbued with my energy for a very long time. So what you see, kids, what you see in the movies, kids, about magic and about hoodoo and about all this other stuff, whether you believe it or not, it happens, and it can happen. So be very, very careful and watchful of who you share, who you are, what you do with. Now, the reason why I share all this open and out loud is for one reason and one reason only. One, I'm going to say I don't care, but I don't mean that in the sense of not caring. It's not caring about judgment. People judge. Not caring about criticism, because people will criticize. However, I will say this, though. Part of it is this. I have my own soul council of ancestors and totems and life protectors and guides that will kick ass. So I don't have to do the job. I'm well protected. So fair warning, anyone that tries to get here, they have to deal with a posse first. And welcome back, Pamela. And for anyone that's popped in to the show, whether it be on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, thank you for coming in and sticking around. I really, 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 really appreciate you being here. So now this is just one of the many. Now this object is probably imbued very, very strongly with my juju and my energy. And anyone that's spiritually oriented, like even when it comes down to, and you can tell when someone is very spiritually oriented, you could tell someone that's connected in that way will say, mind if I touch it, or mind if I check it out. Because a lot of times people will go, oh, that's a beautiful necklace, or that's a beautiful choker, or that's a beautiful this or beautiful that. Now, anyone that's spiritually oriented or energetically oriented will say, do you mind? Or is that okay? Welcome, Elizabeth. Because you just don't interrupt or step into someone's personal space. So in the same with talismans and fetishes and charms, you're doing the same thing. That is imbued with that person's energy. And a lot of people will imbue their own energy or charge certain things. You know? So Ariel is saying, hey, they'll get their butts whacked by the Moon Tribe in 20 different ways and from multiple realms. Yes, for sure. Hey, Jude, nice to see you. Great to see you, Karen. So yeah, but see, this is all part of it. Now, here's another thing, for example, that I made. Now, this is actual bone, and this is a Tibetan mala bead. I use this when I'm not utilizing my full bow 108 bead, which are also bone as well. Now, these have all been charged through ceremony and empowered. Well, thank you. So all of these, so it's interesting. And again, when you're working within spiritual realms and you're working with body, mind, and spirit, you will find yourself being connected 24/7. So it's not just on Sunday. One of my favorite songs is happens to be it really bothers me when I do this. Thinking. It's Wind Up. Okay. Now the song Wind Up is, hey Joe, welcome. So now the song Wind Up is regarding you don't wind me up on Sunday. So in other words, you're not just spiritual on Sunday. You're not just spiritual on Saturday. It's every day. You're living the sacred every day. So you should be a good person every day. So this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing up these, totems and things like that. I also have, rosaries from around the world that I've been to, and they're all been blessed. So this is also part of it. There is no labels here. I'm not working with labels. I'm not dealing with labels. I'm talking about spirit and soul work as a whole. That's it. So now a lot of these things, it's another little medicine pouch of sorts where I have certain things in it. Now, for example, and I'm going to dabble into my little pouch here. Now this here, a person that I had met had made this, correct? Now this little dolphin, and I'll just show you guys here on YouTube Live. It's a little pewter dolphin, and here you go. Now this dolphin was imbued with dolphin energy. Okay, so one of my totem animals is dolphin, and this is actually imbued and blessed with the essence and mana of dolphin, legitimately and literally, and blessed in its work of just its being put together. Okay, so now this happened to come from Bonnie Blue over at the Sea Star locally, and she's just an amazing individual, sweetheart of a person, and very, very sacred. But there are a lot of things like that you can carry, that you could put your own energy in. Anything that I've ever made, any bit of jewelry or anything that I've ever made for anyone, I always put good juju in. I always bless the item. First of all, I'll ask if it's all right for me to bless the item or to even make the item for the certain person. I'll ask their higher self. And then upon getting an approval of that, then I will make whatever item it is, whether it be a talisman or not. They don't have to know whether it's a talisman or not. Their higher self will allow me to go ahead and bless it with good juju, with good energy, with good medicine. And then at that point, they can do that. I've also energized storm water, ocean water. And you want to talk about just Reiki charge stuff? Well, Reiki charge and then going into ceremony with other modalities, talk about high-end, powerful stuff. And I've seen it actually work, and I've actually used it myself. So these are things that we can look at in a different way. So now all of you, some of you, not all of you, because I know there are some pretty sacredly connected people in the room presently. Some of you be thinking, whoa, I knew Moonshadow was weird, but I didn't know he was that weird. Well, guess what? Yes, I've been that weird for a long, long time. That itself could alienate you from people. Not everyone likes weird or different. But that's okay, because you know what? At the end of the day, if you look, and Dina knows, because I've known Dina for a long, long time. So she knows the weirdness, because we've spoken and had very, very deep conversations about weirdness throughout the years. Now, Joe's saying, I just picked up 7 healing chakra quartz healing stones made in Sedona, Arizona. I need to get with you on working with them. Fantastic. Yes, Joe, we'll have to definitely connect. And thank you so much, Q. You're also weird, and I love the fact you're weird, and much love's right back to you. Mwah. Now, also, too, this is something that energy, since energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it is surrounding you. It is connected to you. It is imbuing you. It is blessing you. It is hurting you. It is stopping you. It's limiting you. It's unlimiting you. Wow, that's a big mouthful, isn't it? Isn't it? And also, too, Ariel is saying, laugh out loud, you seem more normal now. Yes, because Ariel is part of my tribe as well. There are certain people that you naturally connect with energetically. And a lot of times when you connect with them energetically, it's like, wow, you know what? I thought I was the only one that was weird. But then I meet you, and you're weird too. I love that. So And there are also many, many people that are still in the closet, so to speak, that they're not necessarily, they know they're unique. And you're blessed. And I want you to understand this. Whoever you are blessed. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter how. You connect to source. So you are blessed no matter what. So you know what? And Melody, I had been fortunate to meeting Melody in one of my shows. She had popped in one of my shows, and she came on, and incredibly awesome person as well. So now this is part of the thing. This is part of the deal here. If you embrace your true self, does it really matter what people think? Does it really matter does it really matter? Does it really matter if your next door neighbor, which, you know what, I could have my next door neighbors right now watching my Facebook Live going, no wonder he does this weird stuff in his yard. Well, yeah, guess what? And Jude, yes, you are unique, and it's a wonderful thing. Being unique is a beautiful thing. So now, it's no wonder where you go out where the new moon is, you go out for the full moons, you go down, therapy could be down by the ocean. Utilizing different things, different tools, okay? Like, for example, now Q's a chef. I would gladly bless Q's knives and her, because that's a craft. Craft, right? It's a craft. You're making magic with food. Or one of my dear friends who I love dearly, I had the privilege, honor, and blessing to actually officiate their marriage. And this person is an amazing artist. And she works with quilts. And I had the honor and the privilege to watch her family grow and to be part of their connection, of their family. So her family is part of my extended tribe, and I've been part of her extended tribe. So that's what the beauty of it all, of being different, of connecting in the way that you do. Now, Jude's saying that that's her therapy, the ocean. And Jude is an incredible dog groomer, by the way. And she does everything spiritually and in a heart-centered way. So these are all things that you can work with. Now, interestingly enough, you can imbue anything with your energy, anything. It could be a lucky coin. It could be a necklace. If it's something where you feel the need, like a lot of times you will hear, if you're spiritual oriented, you hear about protective bubbles and things like that. I give, yes, soul family. Now, what I do is I leave it up to my spirit council, my soul council, to protect me. So that goes down to my totem animals, which follow me everywhere. You know, I remember being in South Africa and having ravens follow me while I was driving. No joke. No joke. I have an interesting story about connection, and this also goes to energy and the topic at hand. I had watched over and cared over a certain Samoyed puppy. She was a beautiful, beautiful dog. And her owner, her pet parent, couldn't take her out because she was a career person. So she really didn't get the chance to take her dog out enough. So I happened to be walking by, and I offered to watch over a dog and take her dog off. Took her dog for walks and stuff. Now, I would do this just because. It wasn't for any kind of monetary reason. It was just because I felt a connection with her dog. And the Samoyed, if you know Samoyed breed, they're absolutely beautiful, beautiful dogs. But the spirit and soul of this dog was amazing. Well, after working with this dog, playing with this dog, getting to know this person, very, very connected in many, many ways, I was out walking with Bianca, which was, her name was Bianca. Or was it Blanca or Bianca? It's a long time ago. You got to understand, this was like probably like 20 years ago. So now I was working with this dog and walking this dog, and she was in heat. She unfortunately got off of her leash and slipped out of her collar. And fast forward the story, looking for her, going nuts, searching for her because she ran off on an adventure chasing, I think it was a squirrel. She got hit by a car. Now, that broke my heart. I will say that. No different. I don't care if you're four-legged. I don't care if you're furry. I don't care if you have wings. It affects you. Death affects you. So yes, we move on to spirit, and that's fantastic. But the death definitely affected me because it was under my charge that this happened. So I felt responsible. So now, and just thinking about this, bringing back like it was yesterday. So now, after, and it was Bianca, by the way. After Bianca had passed, the following day, I heard her barking in my front yard. Clear as bell. No different than I can hear my phone ringing or anything like that. It was right here, right now, in my present. And I tried to ignore it, but I kept on hearing her bark. I kept on hearing her wanting to play, because there are times that her pet parent would come down to my house and bring her to my house before she would go off on her day, bring her to work. So there are some days that I actually watch her for the whole day. So I'm hearing this dog bark. And anybody, if you're a pet parent or a regular parent, you know, you'll know your baby's sounds. It's no different with animals. They all have a distinctive sound, right? So now I knew that this was Bianca. I go out my front door and I see her in my front yard, running around, rolling around, and it brought me to tears immediately. I broke down. I was right in my front yard. She's rolling around, barking, and it's like, play with me and all this other stuff. And I just looked at her and I said, I'm sorry. And she just looked at me, and the conversation was there. It's almost like telepathy. So for anyone that doesn't understand that I talk to animals, sorry, not sorry, but I talk to a lot of things, and I'm not crazy, mind you. But the thing was, she had stopped and looked at me, cocked her head and said, it's not your fault. I couldn't help it. I got out and I did what I do. I chased a squirrel. So now this wasn't meant to bring you guys all down. What the moral of the story was that there was a strong connection between this dog and I. And all of this makes a difference. All of this matters. So with energy, and this is the prime reason why I'm bringing up the story, and again, a lot of what I bring up just comes up intuitively. I don't have any script on what I just have the topic. And then from that point on, it is whatever comes out, comes out. So now, energy is a thing. Thoughts are things. Your words are things. And thank you, Melody, for that. And Melody is saying here on Facebook Live, you're not crazy, you're enlightened. Thank you. It's taken a lot of soul searching for me to come to that conclusion, because there are a lot of people that are put into the crazy box, and they're not crazy at all. They're just connected. Hey, Karen, nice to see you. Pleasure. So a lot of that, we're all imbued with energy, and we're surrounded by energy. So the things you say, what you do, it all makes a difference. And it's a lot more responsibility. Hey, Sandy. And it's a lot more responsibility. So it's not like whatever. You cannot whatever through life. Hey, Shauna. You can't whatever through life. We all get affected because it's energy. All of it. So if you are bombarded with negative energy, if you're bombarded with all of these things happening to you or around you, there is a level of possible absorption or being affected. So this is why I say thoughts are things, words are things. I will think 5 seconds before I say almost anything. You notice I say almost anything because when you're connected to source, it's a whole different thing. Hey, Mark, welcome. So that being said, since we have energy everywhere, everything that we create, everything that we do, all our actions, all our thoughts, all our deeds, everything matters. All of it matters. So I showed you some of my little medicine pouches, right? These are all things that I carry. These are all things. I utilize pendulums and different spiritual tools, different shamanic tools. You know, all of it matters. Welcome, Leanne. Now, also too. Now, Leanne, I haven't seen Leanne in a long, long time. Welcome. She is talk about connecting to source and spirit. She's incredibly connected to source and spirit in a very unique way, mind you, with her bed and breakfast. Not too far. But this is the thing. Your thoughts, your actions, your deeds create energy. They hold on to energy. You will hear, and Hollywood does this quite often, about cursed objects. The horror genre is full. I can tell you that is real. They've glamorized it and they've Hollywoodized it, but it is real. So if I actually, for example, if I was to marry someone and say I found this really, really awesome diamond ring, I'd want the history and the origin of that diamond ring. Did those people love each other? Did that happen out of was there a divorce? Was there a death? What happened? What's the origin story behind this item or relic or talisman? Because it absorbs energy. And if anyone knows energy, Leanne will know energy as well, because I've actually had the opportunity of checking and investigating her bed and breakfast, which is the Lizzie Borden house. Yes. So you definitely want to check that out if you get the chance. So now also too, Michael is saying everything we do affects others we come in contact with, even if we don't realize it. Was that, okay, like blood diamonds, for example, that could be potentially it too. Was it a blood diamond? Was it something that was brought out in a harmful way? So now let's think about this. If that's the case, and say I wanted to save a few bucks, whatever, so be it. But there would need to be a clearing. There would need to be a purifying. There would need to be a ritual or a ceremony to purify or to release any negative energy from this ring, right? So it's no different. So if any of my friends get a new car, I will bless their car. I will say, hey, listen, mind if I do a little something? And if they've known me long enough, they're like, yes, you want to bless, put your juju on, you want to put your juju in my new house, or the juju on my new car, or bless my new puppy, or whatever. I've done it. And people don't even realize it, that I've done it. But this is really important. So a lot of times we don't realize the juju we put out or the energy we put out can cause problems, can cause issues. And we see this, and I'm only going to mention this once, in the landscape of the world today, there's a lot of hatred. I don't have to go there. I don't have to name names. All I got to say is that there's a lot of hatred in the world today. And a lot of the people that are connected, the light bringers, and a lot of the people that are connected, the light workers and the shamanic people and the people that are connected to source, we've got a lot of work to do because of it. There's a lot of damage right now. And also too, by the way, Leanne, if you're still here, Ariel does paranormal investigations over in Nevada. So she would probably love to investigate your place. And it's got history and it's got energy. And let me tell you, I've tried it and I've seen it and I've been there. I would like to eventually stay overnight sometime. I'm sure I won't get any sleep just because of the activity. So, and yes, Pamela, there's also love there. And I will agree with you. There is a lot of love in the world. If you have seen a lot of my postings lately, I have posted a lot of things connected to like that preschool teacher in Argentina that is has Down syndrome. She has taken what stigma people decide to put on people that are challenged, and she has done something beautiful with it. Same story I posted with the little girl that gave a homeless man out front of the restaurant a meal. I'm not doing this to look good. This is my heart here. This is why we post this stuff. This is why we do it. We don't do it for criticism. We don't do it for judgment. We don't do it for anything. We do it because it is our sole purpose to do that. Okay? So this goes on to another thing about energy. No different than I've imbued this, I can imbue my social media. I could charge my social media with hate. My opinion, whatever my opinion is, it could uplift somebody or could damage someone. So again, you've heard me say this on many different shows. You're either part of the problem or part of the solution. So this is all really responsibility. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox about this. It's not what my meaning or intent is, but it's all about bringing you back to center and saying, okay, what I do, what I say, and how I put myself out there matters. The energy I imbue into my own life and into others matters. The uniqueness that we all share, because all of us are different, matters. So this is why you don't hear a whole lot of judgment from me. This is why you don't hear a whole lot of criticism from me, because unless I've walked with that person in their skin, I really don't know the full scope of what they're all about, what it takes day to day. So this is all important. And you see a lot of people that are live streaming. I live stream a little bit differently. It comes more from a more shamanic realm, because that's just who I am every day, 24/7. But it's really time to think about how you put yourself out in the world. There are people that I connect with where I may haven't spoken to them in ages, but when I connect with them, or I feel their spirit, or I feel their energy, I'm like, wow, look at, that was an awesome post. So a lot of times you'll see that I love something, that I will emote something. And it's not just liking it. It's not just, acknowledging it. It's, I love that post. I share that post. But that's different. You're imbuing energy into it. So be watchful of what you're imbuing energy, what you're putting energy into. Not everyone understands that. Now, Pamela's saying here, energy flows where attention goes, focus on love. Absolutely. And also Sandy is saying, my postgraduate study was in clinical hypnotherapy, and what you talk about is very similar to my practice. Thank you for sharing. And welcome. So you're a fellow hypnotherapist. So that's awesome. And again, what you put in, you get out. And it's not easy to do it on a daily basis. I'm not going to lie on that. It's not easy being in the world and having to be responsible for your words, responsible for your actions, and knowing what I say today, is it going to uplift someone or is it going to knock someone down? It is so important to be aware of that. Not only be self-aware, because with all my experience in helping and guiding others and learning from others, I've learned that the ego can be really, really problematic. And as Michael is saying here on YouTube Live, we are not perfect. No, we're not. So anytime that you want to step on a soapbox, be prepared to know what you're talking about. Be prepared to follow and back it up. I've had people challenge things I've said, and it made me think. You know what I did? I thanked them. I thanked them because I was like, you know what? Thank you for doing that, because it made me rethink what I said and explain if it was misunderstood, and to strengthen me and possibly strengthen the connection between me and that person. Funny thing, funny lessons and funny answers and funny questions and funny things, messages that happen. This can happen anywhere. This can happen on your way to Dunkin' Donuts, to grabbing a coffee. This could be at a restaurant, at the laundromat, at church. You may receive a message from someone that you didn't even realize, and they didn't even realize they were meant to give you that message. Crazy, isn't it? So again, you yourself, and I will share a technique connecting to the fact of imbuing good juju into an object for your intention, because I've also done a show just on intention, the power of intention. But your intention and your thought patterns and the amount of energy you put into something really makes a difference. You could tell, if you are energetically sensitive, you could tell between, a painting that someone just threw together or not threw together. It could have been a doodle full of love, like a love note. I'm a big fan of just because. If I see something or if I think something, oh, wow, someone just popped into my mind, I think I should give them a call. And sure enough, it's like, wow, I was just thinking about you. Everything happens for a reason. So now, in looking at that, in connecting with that, it's really, really important. So now, how do you empower yourself and protect yourself with the ability of not having to worry so much about people criticizing or attacking you, whether it be metaphysically, physically, anything like that? You can go ahead and you could empower objects. You could make sacred, safe space in your home. You could do that with your car. Because this is all part of what to be balanced, enlightened people, this is part of living life day to day. It's not just about getting coffee and going into your 9 to 5. It's also about thinking about how you're living your life. What are you doing to make your life better, moment to moment, breath to breath, minute to minute? How you cope with things is paramount. Reacting in a negative way to something that was negatively towards you, it could be problematic, because you can just be feeding that bad wolf. Something to be careful with. So about how coping. So with this, you can protect and imbue certain things in your life. Now, as an example, say, okay, as an example, with my mala bead bracelet here, and I did also bless these in sacred ceremony as well, these mala beads that I made. But say, for example, you just purchased these or just made this. Now, your intention matters. So you're really thinking about the intention and the juju behind it. As you're making it, your intention is going to amplify the energy of the object. So when I was making this, my intention and the affirmation as I was putting is this, in this particular mala bead, and this has been all over the world with me, by the way, is for me to be in the proper space, in a blessed space, and for this to protect me from any harm, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, all of it. So right here, this right here might as well be a fully loaded spiritual bazooka. And I've been to places that are pretty sketchy, still parked my vehicle, still spoke to people, and I was still me living out loud. And I wasn't fearful or scared. There you go. Now, oh, that's awesome. So now Shauna Marie, and she's from Intuitive Messages, her and a couple of wonderful girls, Nicole and Ty, they put this show, well, they're in the process, but they're on YouTube. You can check them out. Messenger Spirit. She's amazing. But she's saying she created an email guide on sacred creations and energy imprinting. So there is information out there. Hey, Helen. from across the pond, we have Helen. So now you too, with your intention, you could go ahead and imbue whatever. If you want to bring abundance into your life, here you go. You can imbue something. Something that's your everyday carry, your EDC, right? I also have a pendulum that I carry with me all the time as well. But yeah, and this is something that I used to do. I used to carry rocks as a child. So this is not something as I did as an adult. I've done this as a child. I used to carry crystals and rocks without even knowing the meanings of them before. This was my soul. This was my soul and my spirit, my other lives, my spirit guides protecting me without even me knowing it. That is some powerful shit, man. Let me tell you. That is some powerful stuff. So yeah, utilizing it. You can utilize something with affirmations or with a prayer. And Shauna Marie's saying, oh, I did as a kid as well. I will collect sticks, acorns, feathers. I'm gifted quite often by Gaia herself and my totem animals and my spirit guides. I'm gifted quite often. And Jude, she actually has made jewelry and actually have one of her beautiful pieces that she utilized and made personally custom for me, utilizing labradorite, which is one of my favorite stones. And I actually wore it the other day. And thank you for that. So this is what I'm talking about. These things are imbued with energy and juju and everything. They have their method. They have their reasons. They have they're assigned to do things, their own purpose, right? I've got a mala bead. I've got a mala bead set. Some mala beads that was made specifically for me, and they're incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. They've also traveled with me, and they are made with many different stones. And all the stones, in researching all the stones, they were all exactly what I needed and customized to me. And I appreciate it. This is a friend of mine over in Seattle. She did an incredible job making them. So this is also part of it. So yes, you know, let's take a look at this as a whole. You know, we are whole beings. We're mind, body, and spirit. We're made of energy. We're made of cells. We're made of all that. But you know, without a battery, your phone isn't working. That spark is what gets us going. That spark is what keeps us alive, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So it's really, really important to connect to that spark. It's really, really important to embrace that spark and be aware of that spark. And what you do with that spark makes a difference. You can do that to harm. You can do that to uplift. You can do that to help. You could do it for a lot of reasons. So all of that makes a difference. All of it does. So yeah. So I'm hoping this is connecting with you guys. I'm hoping this is bringing some message for you. Because whether you think it or not, your spirit guides are going to be talking. It can happen through dreams. It can happen through just knowing. And Ariel is saying, it's pretty much the whole shebang, bazooka, armor, and castle. And in castle, it is. It's everything. So that spark is what gets you through the day, through your life, and connects you to purpose. So it really depends on if you want to be self-aware of what your purpose truly is or not. And that's where soul searching comes in. That's when you're connecting with who you really are. Don't be ashamed of who you are. If you have to embrace and fly that freak flag, then do it. I do. Doesn't matter. But also be aware that the energy that you put out there can do damage. It can uplift and do damage. So all that soul searching, you'll come to realize. You'll come to realize, okay, let me think a second before I make that decision, before I criticize someone. Would I want that same criticism? Would I want to be treated the same in kind? Would I want to be treated that same way? So this is why being aware and responsible is really, really important. So now, any questions? If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. Hey, Joe, long time no see. I've been okay. Challenging, but we're doing. You know what I mean? Still alive and kicking and doing what you got to do. So, any questions? Do you have a talisman or some type of oracle or some type of thing? And that's another thing too. Speaking about messages and oracles, your intuition is always going. And it's really up to you whether you have your ears open, your eyes open to see it or not, but the messages are there. So you don't necessarily have to use cards or anything like that. It's all messages are always there. That's just an additional energy imbued thing for you to be able to get messages and intuit. So that's all part of it. So all of this mysticalness that you see, it may seem like it's just Hollywood glamorization, but I'll tell you, there's real life stuff attached to this. So this is all things that you could really apply to your life. And I challenge you, look it up. The great thing about looking things up is you can research and you can look and you can see and you can find that you are actually a deeper, more powerful person than you thought you were. You have the ability of influencing people easily and effortlessly. So be aware of that. So that's important too. So feel free, feel free to share if there's anything that you guys particularly want to share from your experience. I enjoy learning from you as well. I know there are quite a few of you that actually will carry some form of fetish or some kind of connecting piece. Hey, Kaylee. Great to see you. Now, Jude carries a pendulum every day. Oh, and lots of love to you too, Kaylee. And when I say international, I'm not kidding. People from all over. So it's always a pleasure, and it's so nice to feel the energy from all of you from all over this great marble that we live in. I appreciate that. It's powerful juju. So all that support that I receive and all the love that I get and every single little kindness that I receive, it is not unnoticed. Ever. Always. I always remember it. So yeah, so now taking a look at that, we'll just do a quick summary for the people that came in a bit later. Now, we all have the ability to imbue our energy into things for our protection, or we can help, or we can harm. We know this. But also, too, using prayer, affirmations, ceremony, anything towards connecting to spirit, you can basically protect yourself. You could do it for abundance. You can do it for fertility. You can do it for many different reasons. I remember I blessed for a couple of people that they wanted to really have a child, and they had a hard time with having a child. I had gotten a blanket, and I had blessed and in ceremony blessed and imbued a blanket for them. And sure enough, a few months later, they were having a baby. Now, is it all me? No, it wasn't me. It's not about ego. It's source. It's connecting to source. It's using affirmation and blessing and using your being a vessel for source and spirit for you to bless that thing for people. That's how healers heal. It's not the healer, their vessel. It's their connection to source and spirit is what does the healing. They're just a really strong card. They're like the plug. You know what I mean? They're like that unit, that plug unit that just plugs it in, flips the switch. Now, Shauna Marie is saying, it varies for me. I make malas. I have certain stones I carry, and I go with the pull. Exactly. And that's really important. Like, there are things that I carry every day. Like these I carry every day. Now, granted, this I wear all the time. Now, is this more powerful than this? No. It's really like kind of carrying extra. So if I feel, if I find that I want to do a ceremony and I don't have a ton of time, I could use these mala beads. If it's longer and it's more and it's even, I have the time to be able to do it, I'll use these. These have 108. These have, I think, 18. Stones. They're stones I carry. I have Herkimer on me all the time. It's a master crystal. It's like a super amplifier. So if you think quartz are amplifiers, Herkimer is even stronger. It's like a crystal on steroids. It will amplify anything. And I utilize crystals also to empower my things, as well as nature's gifts, ocean water. Now, you can use salt water, but I tend to use storm water. Look up storm water and see what that does. That's incredible stuff. Rainwater, in-charged and re-in-charged and imbued rainwater and storm water. Thunder water is amazing. All of that can be used and not only that, you can also Reiki charge it as well, or use sacred or sacred magnified healing. You can do all of that as well. So all of that makes a difference. Now, Judah's saying she has that in the car with lapis lazuli. There you go. And Ariel is saying, my husband carries a coin around him all the time. Now, isn't it interesting that the things that you carry, yes, also charging water under full moon is very powerful stuff. I do it all the time. I make sure even my drinking water is charged and blessed. True story. So now, say for example, if you have something that you're used to carrying, so I will tell you that just these alone that are always in my pocket with, you know, with a crystal or two and things like that, I will leave the house, and if I did not bring them, I feel like something was missing. And yes, things are things. It's the energy behind the thing. This is what I'm talking about. It's the energy behind the thing. It's not the thing itself. The thing is only a carrier. It's only a vessel to what it's holding. The energy it's imbued by. Think about that. And also, Ariel would say, I guess mine would be my silky. Ariel has a certain little, how can I put it? Well, it would be a silky. It's kind of like her own form of fetish or talisman, so to speak. It's imbued with her energy. She takes a lot of time in how she makes it. She's charging it herself. It gives her, it calms her. So what's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. So these are things, and instead of always giving you more answers, I know I tend to challenge you a bit, and I tend to give you more questions than answers. I tend to make things a little more complex in my Zen simplified kind of way. But guess what? It's my purpose. It's my purpose to help you and to guide you as well as you guide me. So we're all here for a reason. All of us are here for a reason. And the sooner you figure out what your purpose is, the better it will be. Some of us take a while. Some of us learn really, really early in life. And sometimes you can't even choose. Sometimes it's there. It's there, it's done, and that's it. The choice has been made for you. That's kind of how it happened with me. My gifts and choices and my path was mine. And they made sure. Thank you so much, Jude, for being here. Talk to you soon. And I'm also going to close up the broadcast and the show, but I want to thank you all for being here. And it's just really, really awesome that you guys are here. All of you, every one of you matter in putting energy in there and listening, learning, and showing me things that I may have not seen prior to. So I want to thank you all for being here with me and spending time with me here on Insight with Moonshadow. You guys do inspire me for this work because this is my purpose and my work to do this. Okay. So if you feel guided to connect and support, please follow and subscribe to me on my social media. You can connect with me, phoenixrisinghealingarts.com or moonphoenixrising.com. So, oh, okay. So now Kaylee is saying I use patch bags that were made by my great grandmother. See, there's a lot of good juju. I thank you for you sharing that, Kaylee. Now, as I say, oh yeah, the product channel coach bags are dust. Collect dust now, right? Hey, Kelly, nice to see you here. But as I say every week, thank you for coming here at Insight with Moonshadow. I appreciate all the juju that you guys and all the support you do. Please follow, subscribe to my channel, and connect with me. If there's any questions, feel free. Send me a message. I appreciate it. And as I say every week, be amazing, Be strong. Be you. See you next week. Take care, guys.